Hello, everyone, and welcome to review number 101 for this Friday, September 18th, 2020. And this week, it's my biggest water review yet, because it is literally the biggest water I've ever reviewed on this channel. This is a 4-liter bottle of Canadian water, Amaro, and this is a still spring water. So Amaro was started in 1972 by Armand Réau in Quebec in a region called St. Cuthbert, which is near the Laurentian mountain range, and he owned over 1,100 acres of land which contained the Amaro spring on it, so he started bottling water from it for several years. And then eventually in 1987 he would end up selling the company to the Colpron family, who still owns it today. So it's a little private water company, and they produce around 4 million bottles a year, and mostly they do commercial office water tanks and stuff like that, those big 18-19 liter tanks of water. But they do some of these 4-liter smaller bottles for kind of retail stores and whatnot. So I picked one of these up to review just because I thought it would be funny to review such a huge bottle of water, but turns out it's kind of a pain to hold on to and shoot B-roll for and stuff like that. So I do apologize, the B-roll is a little kind of wonky for this review. But a little bit more about Amaro. Since they own the land around the spring, they're able to protect the spring from outdoor pollutants and other contaminants that might get into the water, and they keep track of the land and the terroir for the water. And they also only sustainably source their water from the spring, so they only take the surplus water that is created from rainfall and whatnot from the spring each year to make sure that the spring stays for as long as possible and is very sustainable. So that's great to hear that they're doing that. And it's also cool that they own the 1,100 acres around the spring to keep it protected. It's kind of its own private little section of Quebec that they own to keep their springs safe. So that's great to see. Not a whole lot else about Amaro on their website. It would have been nice to see maybe some pictures of the area, maybe a little bit more about the area and the spring where it's located, but really not a whole lot else there on their website, so not great. Another thing that's not great, the bottle design and materials of this bottle, because it is incredibly crinkly, the plastic, and this becomes an issue when you try and open it, because if you squeeze the bottle, you end up shooting water up through the cap. The plastics are really crinkly and low quality in the bottle. Kind of weirdly though, the cap is actually a really nice soft touch plastic, really large and easy to grab onto, comfortable to hold. It also comes with this little handle on the top of it, which is somewhat helpful to some degree, but it's kind of a harsh plastic. It's hard and thin and really digs into your hand, so it's not really great for kind of holding it for long periods of time. Also, the label, not great as well. It's barely glued onto this bottle. It's just made of this really thin, stretchy plastic that's really easy to move around and manipulate. And then the design is just kind of generic as well. They've gone with just a simple Amaro logo across the front, and then just kind of like a glass of water, I guess, is what's on the front here, with a little bit of water on the bottom and then this kind of splash up thing here, which I guess is going to happen when you open this up and then you accidentally squeeze the bottle because it's made of such terrible plastic. You end up shooting water at the top onto your lap. Not that that happened to me. And then on the side, you have a nutrition facts table and a mineral table, which is also great to see. And then they mention the location of the spring on the side here. So that's a nice thing to see on the label, that they've included that. And then on the other side, they just have a little blurb about how they sustainably source their water from the spring. So just a really simple label design here. It's kind of generic, kind of boring, but they do include those ever important mineral and nutrition facts tables, which is great to see. But overall, not terribly impressed with the bottle design and materials. Now, let's open this up and see, how does Amaro taste and smell? This might go really badly. Let's see, you can't really grasp it very easily, and then you just kind of have to pour it in like that. Oh, I got it. There you go. That was very precarious. I'm just going to put this off to the side for now. So, on the nose. On the nose, it's fairly neutral. You do get kind of a little bit of a metallic note on the nose, but overall, really neutral on the nose. Now let's see, how does it taste? Mouthfeel is a little soft. You do get kind of a chalky dryness on it, and I think that might be from the calcium that's in this water. There's about 20-ish ppm of calcium in the water. And then you do get that metallicness that comes off on the nose, on the taste as well. And I'm not really sure what to attribute that to. Overall, it's just fairly neutral. It has that little bit of metallicness to it and a little bit of dry chalkiness to it, but that's more of kind of a mouthfeel thing. So still really neutral water. And it is kind of on the softer side of waters, but not too soft overall. Still really nice to drink. Amaro doesn't add anything to their waters. They don't treat them in any way. It's straight out of the spring. So this is what you're getting, just pure spring water here. So really nice spring water from Quebec. Anyways, those are all my thoughts on Amaro spring water. Now let's move on to final score. For company history and interestingness, Amaro's website was very nicely designed. It just didn't have a whole lot of information. It had some information about the history of the company, a little bit about their spring, but not as much as I would have liked to have seen, and maybe some more sustainability and social initiatives would have been great to see on their website. So in terms of company history and interestingness, I'm giving them 1.5 out of 2.5 points. In terms of bottle design and materials, I'm really not impressed with the materials that they've used for the bottle. The cap is pretty good. It's made out of a nice soft touch plastic, but this handle here is really uncomfortable to hold, and it's kind of important for such a huge bottle. The label, again, also not great materials and not very well secured to the bottle, and it also has this kind of generic design to it, although it does have a mineral table, which I do like to see. So in terms of bottle design and materials, I'm giving them 1 out of 2.5 points. A failing score in terms of bottle design and materials. In terms of taste and nose, this spring water tastes really nice. It has a nice neutral nose to it, a little bit of metallicness on the taste, and just overall a really nice clean tasting spring water with a slight dryness to it. So in terms of taste and nose, they're getting 3 out of 4 points. In terms of value, this 4-liter bottle costs just $1.69 at a local grocery store, making it about 43 cents a liter, which is quite a good value. I don't know really what the purpose of buying one of these waters would be. Maybe if you're going like on a day trip and want to have access to water or something like that, but even then it's still really uncomfortable to carry and you can't really put it into anything. So I really don't know about, portability of this water. So they're still getting 1 out of 1 point for value because it still is a great value in terms of water per dollar, but really it's just kind of cumbersome to carry. You'd be better off carrying a reusable water bottle, just a big reusable water bottle. In terms of final score, they get 6.5 out of 10. A very decent score for kind of a cheaper water. It's a smaller company, but still did quite well. It's just the bottle kind of lets it down because it is a really nice tasting water. I really wouldn't mind like a more premium design bottle for this, maybe a smaller 1-liter bottle. And Amaro has a really nice kind of fancy name to it, so I think they could do really well in the high-end water space if they wanted to. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed my review of this Amaro natural spring water from Quebec, Canada. Please like and subscribe. Comment down below which waters or foods you'd like to see me review in the future, which foods you'd like to see me cook in the future in a future cooking video, and I will see you next week for another video. Thank you.